All right. I have to share it again. Okay. I'm sharing the screen. All right. Now, this is the sheet we were covering. We are actually working on it. So that was the information there. We answered the first part, that is define safety margin. Then we answered the B part, identify any two limitations of using break-even chart. And then part C, outline two benefits of using break-even chart to John. And I assigned you a task that you will be telling me how to get the second mark for application, because we have already gained 1 mark for the knowledge. And I told you that whenever the command word outline is there at the start of the question, there are marks for knowledge and application only. So we did the same for the first benefit. Now we are going to do the same for the second benefit as well. So knowledge mark we have already gained. Now how to get the second mark for the application? Yes, Manha, Hamna, Zainab. Yeah, Manha, please.
Sir, I wrote that safety margin will guide John how many pizzas would he produce and sell before he won't suffer loss in the business.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. Okay, good, Manha. Now we can actually do it this way. Um, this will help uh, John. This will help John to see that even if uh, sales of food items such as pizza, as you just told me, pizza, even if sales of food items such as pizza is falling, how safe he is from loss? Because we do not need to develop our point, because there is no mark for the development. That's why it's perfectly fine if we write this line, and we can still get maximum marks there as well. What happened? Just a minute. This will help John. Sorry, I accidentally just deleted it. Huh? So this will help John to see that even if sales fall, sales of, I told you, sales of food items such as pizza, even if sales of food items such as pizza falls, how safe they are, or sorry, he is from suffering loss. Suffering loss. So that is it. And let me just arrange that here. Yeah, safe from the loss. So now so we are done with it. Okay, and although we have not explained that how will it happen, remember, we have not discussed that how safety margin tells, because we have not shown the formula here, we do not need to. Okay, and there is no need to tell that how safety margin tells the John that that they are safe from the loss, or he is safe from the loss. Okay, because this is analysis, this is development of your point, and that is not required in this question, right? I repeat, we do not need to tell that how safety margin helps John to know whether even if sales is falling, he is safe from the loss or not, right? We do not need to mention that, because this is development of your point, and you will get marks for analysis. But in this question, there are no marks for analysis. So this is fine. To, this will help John to see that if sales of food items such as pizza falls, how safe he is from suffering the loss, right? So this is it. And we'll get 1 more mark for the application. So this is how we'll get uh, full marks. Okay, that is 4 out of 4, right? So we'll get 4 out of 4 in that fashion. Now, any question from you? If you are still not clear about it, we have gained marks, 2 marks for the knowledge and 2 for the application. So, is there any issue? Hamna, can you speak? Hamna is not. Okay, so maybe Hamna is having a problem, I guess. That's why she's not able to talk, right? So we got 2 out of 2 there as well. I'm just actually organizing it, right? And we got 2 out of 2 there as well, uh, right? There. Okay, then so 4 out of 4 in part C, right? 4 out of 4. 4 part C, all right, and then now part D. Okay, so identify and explain 2 economies of scale John can enjoy if he expands his business. Now there are 6 marks. Okay, and now you can see there are actually 2 command words: identify and explain, and the marks are 6. Now I need to understand that how marks are distributed here. That is very important. Okay, so I'll tell you here there are actually two. Whenever the question starts from the command words identify and explain and it is of 6 marks, so the mark distribution will be like that. There will be 2 marks for the knowledge, right, and 2 marks for the application and 2 for the analysis. So now development of your point becomes important. Okay, if we talk about part A, B, and C, in A there were only marks for knowledge. In part B, same. In part C, there were marks for knowledge and application, and now there are marks for knowledge, application, and analysis as well. It means now you have to develop your point well, and this is important, right? So now, if we start answering this, so let's answer it now. 2 economies of scale, so they will obviously provide you the space like this. Economies of scale, economies of scale, sorry, scale 1, right? So now, first of all, you will mention it there, okay? Because after that, you will find this explanation. This is the pattern of the paper as well. Economy of scale, you will mention it and then you will start explaining that. So, economy of scale could be. Can you tell me, Manha, Zainab, or Hamna? Can you name any economy of scale?
Sir, Hamna is saying that it is really loud around her, so that's why she can't speak.
All right. Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you, Hamna, for conveying your message. So, economies of scale. I'll write first what purchasing economies of scale. Right? I wrote purchasing economies. Now I will get 1 mark for the knowledge. Remember, I will get 1 mark for the knowledge here. And purchasing economy, you know what is it? Huh? It is when you are able to expand your business and you buy in bulk from the supplier. So when you buy in bulk, supplier usually offers you a discount, right? Because you are buying in bulk. So that reduces the average cost of the raw material you buy, and that reduces your average cost, right? So this is purchasing economy. But here we are not there to define it only, na? We are there to develop our point along with the application. So now let's see how we are able to do it. Explanation. First, I'm going to start and then maybe you will be doing it for the next economies of scale. Okay, let me do it for you. Now, uh, um, John can or John will be able to buy ingredients, let's say food ingredients, okay, buy ingredients in large quantities, Okay. Now I can write food ingredients such as vegetables, because you know that even if it's a pizza, still vegetables is one of the main food ingredient there as well. Okay, so it can be used there as well. So such as vegetables in large quantities. As a result, as a result, uh, supplier offers a discount that leads to lower average cost. Right now, I wrote that. Now, can you tell me that where is the application which I used there in this explanation? Anyone?
Sir, you wrote food ingredients such as vegetables.
Very good. Absolutely. That's right. Food ingredients such as vegetables. This is actually an application because it means that we are talking in context. And our context is restaurant business, right? This is the context. And it's written it's a fast food restaurant. So vegetables might be there, one of the food ingredient there. Okay? The food they serve to their customers. Right. So this is application. Let me write it there. This is so it means you will get 1 mark for the right. Let me put brackets, and then in large quantities, and as a result. Now this is, I'm explaining it a bit more, that what will happen. Now this is what we call analysis. When you write that John will be able to buy food ingredients in large quantities, what will happen? As a result, supplier offers a discount that leads to lower average cost. Okay, so this is what, this is analysis. I actually gave the reason that how purchasing economies can lead to lower average cost, or how John will be able to achieve that economies of scale. So this is analysis. So I'll get 1 more mark for the analysis. So how many marks I have got up till now? Anybody? Out of 6?
3 marks, sir.
3 marks. Very good. One for knowledge, one for application, and one for analysis. That's good. Very good. All right. Now we can move on to economies of scale number 2, right? And they will provide you the space for that as well. Economies of scale 2. Generally, in business studies, for 1 mark, they give you 2 lines, and it is not necessary that you have to occupy all the lines. Okay, as far as you are able to meet the assessment objectives, it is perfectly fine. Remember, I repeat, business studies is not about filling up the blank spaces. It's about meeting the objectives which are set by the examiner. And those objectives are knowledge, application, analysis, and evaluation. Up till now, we have not talked about evaluation because there is no such question which has demanded for the assessment objective, that is evaluation. But we are done with knowledge, application, analysis. Now, okay, let's finish this question first. Economies of scale 2, and let me write this as what to write, management economies. Management economies, right? So, do you know what is it? What is management economy? Anybody? Any ideas?
Sir, management economies is when the business hires skilled workers, and instead of having large labor, they can hire labor which is skilled and they can have low costs.
All right. Yeah, very good. So, a better word, don't say workers, say managers. Why, right? Okay, it's perfectly fine. So, as soon as you write management economies, you will get mark for the knowledge here, right? You will get mark for the knowledge here as well. So now it is 4 out of 6, right? And then they will provide you, let me just bring it down. Yeah, there. Now explanation. What will be the explanation? Let's see. And it's easy as you just told me, so I will. But we need to use the context as well because there is one more mark for the application as well, right? So we need to be careful about it as well. So John would be hiring skilled and experienced manager to manage or organize resources of the expanding business, right? I wrote that, but still it's not fully developed, and even there is no context used here in the explanation as well. So I'm going to use that as well. Okay. As a result, now I'm going to use the application as an organize experience manager to organize resources efficiently, right? Now I'm writing it. Efficiently means that you do not waste the resources, such as avoiding waste that comes out uh, due to food being cooked in a wrong way. I'm just keeping it very simple, okay? So like such as avoiding waste, such as let me add it, such as avoiding waste that comes out due to food processing. Let's say food being cooked in a wrong way or due to food processing. Even still that is fine, okay? Food cooked in a wrong way, or you can write food processing because obviously food processing happens there, na? So in a wrong way of the expanding business, right? So that leads to lower average cost of the food cooked, right? Now you can see that we have developed this point as well, that how managers are able to reduce the average cost. So here, because we wrote food processing, okay, even being cooked in a wrong way is it's actually the application, right? So I can write it there. This is application. Use of the context because it's a food business. It's a restaurant. Okay. Now let me tell you one more thing. We have used this is fine if you use this application. Okay. But I want to tell you something. Okay. Like if you see here, we talked about vegetables. Okay. Here we talked about food processing. Okay. So this is different. But avoid using the same word for the application in both the parts. Like for example, if you have already used the word vegetables there, okay, avoid using the same word in the second part of the question. So I have used the word processing there, okay, or food processing. So this is different from vegetables, right? That's why I will get another mark for the application. So avoid using the same word time and again. Okay, that is my advice to you. Oh, okay. And there are, okay, so now it means we have got one mark for the application, and after that, I explain that because the waste will be reduced, so cost will go down for cooking food as well. So I get one more mark for the analysis. So here I have got full marks. That is 6 out of 6. How? Because now I have got 2 marks for the knowledge. Okay, one here, second here, and 2 marks for the analysis. How? This one. Okay, and then if I bring it down, there as well. I mean, actually, this is all analysis, and we have used application inside the analysis. Okay, this is analysis, and there is and 2 marks for application as well. This is one application, and this is the second application. Right, so I can bold it as well. Yeah, food processing. Okay, so in that way, I was able to get 6 out of 6 marks. Okay, now remember, application is not something which you will be mentioning uh, separately, right? You will be using the application while developing your point. It means inside your analysis, you will be using the words which will show that you are talking about the business which is mentioned above, okay, or which the examiner is talking about. So in both cases, if you see, John, in both, this is the whole analysis, right? And inside that analysis, we have used the application, the bold one, right? Similarly, this is the whole analysis, and inside the analysis, we have used the application as well. Inside the analysis, right? The bold one, right? So this is how we actually are able to get 6 out of 6. Okay, now, any problem from your side if you are still not clear about it? Manha, Zainab, Hamna.
No, sir.
All right,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Okay, great. All right. So moving on. Okay, now remember, the more you okay, right now you are just learning this art of answering questions. The way I'm telling you, these are the perfect answers. Okay, and you can get full marks. So remember, if you keep on answering the question this way, and you get all your questions right, so you will not be getting A star actually. You will be getting more than that, huh? But this is right now you are in the learning phase. So right now you are getting the understanding, but once you start doing it, you might make mistakes. But with the passage of time, you will learn that art. That's why I started that early. Okay, so I will be giving you the question as well, and then you will be solving it, and you will be I will be checking them, and I will highlight your mistakes and giving it back to them, whether analysis, application, and knowledge, they are intact there, whether all are present there in your answer or not. So now remember, we have actually identified 2 things. One, that when we read a question, we need to look at the command word, and command words are the words which are at the start of the question usually. Second, when we see the command word, we must understand that this command word actually points out towards certain assessment objectives to be achieved, which are set by the exam. So our purpose is not to write answers. Our purpose is to meet those objectives which are set by the examiners. So these are the assessment objectives, right? So we are going through it. Knowledge, application, and analysis. We are done with it, and we will continue practicing this. So don't you worry about it. I will give you questions as well. You will be doing it, and I will be doing it live in the class as well in the same way. Okay. Now let's talk about the party. Okay. Now you see, the question is: do you think break-even analysis is sufficient for John to decide about the most suitable option for to choose for expansion? Now this is the question. So we need to answer that as well. Now this is a different question. It's of 6 marks, but it starts from this phrase. Do you think? Okay, and let me write one thing. The question says, do you think break-even analysis is sufficient to John to decide about the most suitable option to choose for expansion? And I am writing something else as well. Justify your answer. Now, this means that yes, you can talk about the problems which are there in break-even analysis or the usefulness of the break-even analysis, but in the end, you will come up with your own recommendation, your own suggestion. According to your opinion, what do you think? Whether you go with the statement or you are against the statement, right? That whether it is the most suitable or not. Okay, but that will be there in your answer at the end of it. Okay, so when you give your own opinion, that means that this you are doing your evaluation. So here, remember, let me write the marks distribution first, because this is the most difficult part of every question in P1 business. I'm telling you, examiner says that students find this part the most difficult one in every question, because there'll be four questions in business P1, you know that. And last part of every question will be like this, that you will be giving your own opinion. And it is of maximum marks, that is 6. So remember that if there are 4 6 marks question, because there are 4 questions, no? So obviously it means that there will be evaluation question as the last part of each question. So 4 evaluation questions will be there. So 4 into 6, 24. So 24 marks are only for such type of question. So it means you need to be an expert in handling such a question. And why it is difficult, let me know about it. Why examiners say that it is a difficult or the most difficult part of the question. Um, the reason is because there is no definite answer. You can come up with your own answer, but you need to justify it. Like, let me give you an example. It's written, do you think break-even analysis is sufficient for John to decide about the most suitable option to choose for expansion? So you can go either way. If you write break-even analysis is sufficient, you have to give a reason behind it, okay, the justification. Or if you write break-even analysis is not sufficient for John to decide about the most suitable option, you can go with that option as well. But again, you need to give the justification for it. So it means reasoning will be given by you, and the reason might not be available there anywhere. It will come straight from your mind. So that is why it is difficult, because the students need to have a good understanding. And whenever they actually give their own opinion, they need to justify it with logical reasoning. If you won't give a reason and you just make that statement, break-even analysis is sufficient, you cannot get any mark for the evaluation. Now, how marks are distributed, let me tell you about it. There is 1 mark for the knowledge in such type of questions. There is 1 mark for the application, that is the use of the context, you know that. There are 2 marks for analysis, right? And there are yeah, and there are 2 marks for evaluation. So you can see 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. How many marks? 6. So it's quite easy that how to gain 6 marks, because students normally do not bother about this mark scheme or the assessment objectives, and they keep on writing whatever they think. They talk about the advantages of break-even analysis, the disadvantages, and then they end up getting 3 marks or maximum 4 marks. So this is how they eventually end up getting a B grade or at the maximum A grade. No A star, no distinction. But what I am telling you, I am guiding you to write flawless answers. Remember, I am guiding you to write flawless answers. Okay, so if you write such answers, there is no point. You won't be getting A star. In fact, by the will of God, you will be getting more than that. So, but you need to attend my classes on regular basis, and because this is a slow process, you cannot learn this art in a fortnight. So yes, you can revise the syllabus in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, but this art can be learned with the passage of time. So that's why keep learning, keep answering the questions which I will be giving to you in the future. Inshallah, you will be right there at the top. Okay, now, so this is the scheme, knowledge, application, analysis, evaluation. So now, in such type of questions, all 4 assessment objectives which are required by the examiners, they are there in this question, right? So, what does it mean? That is why it is the difficult, or in fact, the most difficult part of the question. So now let's start. Now, let me tell you how to handle such questions before we write about it. What do? You first of all do not address the statement of the question at the start. Never address the statement of the question in the beginning of your answer. Now, what does it mean? It means it's written now break-even, whether break-even analysis is sufficient for John or not. Okay, if this is the statement, you won't say that. Students who write yes, break-even analysis is sufficient, okay, or no, break-even analysis is not sufficient. If this is the statement which is at the start of the question, it means nothing to the examiner. Why? Because you have to first weigh up the advantages and disadvantages first, and then you will be making a judgment. Because evaluation is all about your judgment, now giving your own opinion, recommendation. So then you are able to make the judgment after actually making a ground for that. After discussing the advantages and disadvantages, you can make a judgment about it. So this is the way to go. So that's why never address the statement of the question at the start, because statement of the question is always addressed at the end of the question when you do your evaluation part. So we won't write with the statement. We won't start with the statement break-even analysis is sufficient or not sufficient. We'll simply start with the advantage. Okay, let's say I am writing the usefulness of break-even analysis is right. I completely ignored the statement of the question. I just found that break-even analysis is there. All right. So I'm there to discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So the usefulness of break-even analysis to John is that he will be able to know how quickly break even can be achieved. Okay, or you can write this: how quickly he will be able to cover all his costs. So whatever costs which are there in the business, the setup cost and the running cost of the restaurant, because there are two types of costs. Huh? One is the setup cost. You need to buy equipments, you need to hire a building, or either buy a building, need to hire workers as well. Okay, and then running cost is there. You need to pay electricity bills, you need to pay salaries and wages to workers as well. You need to buy raw material. So running cost and setup cost. So John will be able to know that how quickly that cost can be covered, or he will be able to cover all his costs. Okay. So now I have written this. Now I am actually developing this point. So John would try to produce and sell more food items to achieve this, so that profit would start after that. And you know that we discussed that after break-even point, profit starts, because before the break-even, your cost is always higher than the revenue. Let me just show it to you as well. Just a minute, because I know I taught it to you way back, so that's why I am just explaining it to you again. Now, see this. Now, this is total revenue, okay, and this is total cost, and you know that this is break-even. This is break-even, right? So before that, this is the area. What is happening there? Just a minute. Let me use a color. Yeah, this is the area which is loss. Why? Because throughout this area, total cost, you can see total cost is greater than the total revenue. This is the total revenue, no? This line. This is total revenue, and total cost is above total revenue throughout this area. This is loss. But as soon as businesses are able to achieve break-even, profit starts. And where is that profit? This is the area of profit, right? This is the area of, Let me use a color for that as well. Okay, this is the area of profit. So that's why all businesses they want to achieve their break-even early. So that's why break-even helps them out. That break-even analysis gives them a target, and let's say the target is 300. That at 300, let's say break-even is achieved. So all businesses will try to produce and sell 300 items as quickly as possible. Why? Because they know after that, as soon as they go beyond it, their profit starts, right? So I am using the same concept. So John would try to produce and sell more items, more food items to achieve this, so that profits start as soon as possible. As soon as possible after that. All right. So any confusion regarding that? Zainab, Manha, and Hamna?
No, sir.
No. All
No,
right.
sir.
Good. Okay. Great. Now it means now how many marks we have got up till now. We need to decide about that as well. Now, remember, there is one mark for the knowledge. How do you get mark for the knowledge? Because we have not stated anything, right? Because there is no space to state anything. So as soon as you state a point, as soon as you state a point, you get mark for the knowledge. Like you wrote the use, what is the usefulness? Is John will be able to know how quickly break-even can be achieved, right? This is knowledge. Let me use a color for that. This is knowledge because I have mentioned one usefulness or one advantage of the break-even. Okay, this is also part of that. Okay, this is also part of that. So this is also knowledge. Same. So let me write this is knowledge. So I have gained one mark for the knowledge here. Right now, after that, so John would so John would try to produce and sell more food items to achieve this. Okay, all right. So that further explanation, so that profit would start as soon as possible. So you need to extend your explanation. You cannot stop at the point where I wrote John would try to produce and sell more food items to achieve this. So I further extended that. This is a good way to make connections. Extend your point further and take it to the end. And what is the end? Obviously profit. So that profit would start as soon as after that. So what is it? This is, what is it, Zainab?
Application.
This is application plus analysis. Yes. This is, I'll
Application.
write, yeah, this is analysis. And I told you application is always inside the analysis. Application is normally inside the application. Application is not something which you write separately. So, because I wrote sell more food items, this one. So I will be coloring it differently. Yeah. So this is application. This is how you will be doing it. This is a very precise work I'm telling you. Okay. So more food items. Now it means we have got one mark for the knowledge, we have got one mark for the application, and we have got one mark for the analysis as well. So up till now, we have got how many marks? 3 out of 6. Got it? So this is the precise work. If you do this, examiner will be extremely happy, I'm telling you, and will be giving you the marks whatever you want, maximum marks. So you need to understand, but to get a command over that, you need to practice it. And obviously, this is the guideline. You can be using that because I will be sharing that video as well. But you will be practicing that as well. I have other model answers as well. I will be sharing that with the passage of time as well, and I will be writing answers live as well, and involving you as well to write answers as well. I won't, okay, remember, I do not only check answers, I highlight the mistakes and I guide students how to correct them so that you keep on improving your answer. And by the time you reach CA exams, you become an expert. And then you can achieve whatever you want. Right, okay, so now, is that clear to you up till now, everybody? Zainab, Manha?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So it means that you are learning this art as well. So now you are actually in grade 11, but was there any teacher who actually told you to write answers that precisely?
Sir, Miss Manal taught us kind of.
Okay, kind of. Okay, that's great. All right. So did she actually write answers for you?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Because writing answers is very important. If teacher writes an answer, students exactly know that how to write the answer. Because do you know why teachers do not write the answer generally? I'm not talking about Miss Manal actually. She might be very competent. I do not know her actually. But generally, teachers they do not write their own answers. And why? Because even they do not know what to write precisely, what exactly needs to write. So that's why they just guide students verbally, and that's why they do not give full marks to the students as well, because they do not know how to get 6 out of 6. So I will be giving you 6 out of 6 if you will be meeting the requirements, I'm telling you. So all right, okay, now it's 1:55, so I think I'll stop here and I will complete the rest of the question in the next class, that is tomorrow, and it will be again at 1 o'clock. I will be sharing the link. Thank you very much. That is all. I'll see you in the next class.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz,
खुदा
sir.
हाफिज खुदा हाफिज